Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We're your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take on each contestant. We'll give you our feedback and overall opinion on the performances. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll always keep it 100 with our feedback and critiques of each contestant's vocal and overall performance. But what we're never here to do is come for anyone's character or any person as a human being. Now, we may come off a little pitchy at times, if you know what I mean. But we'll always do our best to speak our truths with love, kindness, and respect. And with that, we are going to talk about a very special episode today. Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, James. How are you?
Woo, coming out of spring break, coming out of Easter.
Yes.
I know we are happy to have everyone back in school.
Yes, we are.
And, have a little me time.
Yes.
During the day where we can get it in, because as Stephanie always says, we are real people with real lives.
Yes, we are. Yes.
So this week is a little different with The Voice. We are taking a small break from the competition. And what did they bring us last night, Stephanie?
So they called yesterday's episode The Best of Blinds, Battles, and Blake. And that is indeed what we got last night. We got to see most of the blind auditions of the artists that are on teams now.
Okay.
We got to see each team battles, all the battles, and we got to see a lot of Blake as well. Some of what he's been talking about as he's exiting this season with some of his exit interviews that he's been doing on the show. And also we got to see some clips of him earlier on in the show as well. So it was a fun episode to kind of recap this season and to recap Blake's journey as well.
Well, I can't wait to talk about this. I like to play on the B's.
Yes.
Blinds, the battles, and Blake.
Yes.
So, where do we want to go first with this?
So let's start off by talking about where our teams stand as of right now coming out of these battle rounds. So I'm just going to go through it really quickly, let you know who was stolen, who's playoff pass, and who's on the team, on each team. And all of this is on a graphic on our Instagram feed. So you can check them all out easily on our feed on the Pitchy Podcast or at the Pitchy Podcast on Instagram. So starting with Team Blake, his team now has Grace, Kylie, Niall, Tasha, Walker, our playoff pass winner, Mary Kate, and our stolen artist, who was Nueva.
It's so interesting. I have been talking so much about Kelly having a deep bench. Blake's pretty impressive bench as well.
Absolutely.
You just named a bunch of some of my personal favorite front runners of this season. And I didn't you think about it, but you don't kind of put it together until you actually see the visual.
Right.
As to, okay, well, Blake put a pretty formidable team together.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorites, obviously, Kylie, Mary Kate, probably one of my favorite duets.
Yes.
When they did the anti-hero.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to. I'm kind of glad, if you think about it, I'm glad that selfishly that Kylie didn't get the.
And tell them why, because it's a valid reason. And I feel the same way.
I'm really glad because selfishly, Stephanie and I have had this conversation. There are a lot of singers we just want to hear as much of as we possibly can.
Right.
Because once you get the playoff pass, you skip the knockouts.
Absolutely.
Round and go to a new, for this season, I believe that that they've had it in previous season, but then you go to a new round after the knockouts.
Yeah.
Playoffs, which then will take you into the lives. I believe.
Right.
So, I'm really excited to get to hear Kylie for the next round because she's actually one of my favorites to win the whole thing. It's deep. It's deep, Stephanie.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward.
What about you as far as Team Blake goes?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing more from Neil, because Neil was one of our first contestants in the blinds. And then for the battles, his battle partner had to bow out early. So we only got to hear a snippet of his performance, which ended up being a solo performance. And I can understand why they did that, why they didn't show the whole thing. It makes sense. But I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a full performance from Neil.
Right.
And even the little snippet that we got to hear.
Exactly.
Was excellent. So I can't wait to hear more from him.
So the thing about Neil, y'all, that is just so ridiculous is, what did he do? A Travis Tritt song?
I believe so.
His battles, I could be wrong, but I know he did pure country.
Yeah, he did country, and then he did. Yes.
And then he came with. I heard it from the.
Yeah, I heard it through the grapevine. Yeah,
and kind of just murdered both.
Yes.
And he is probably the most mature in age of all the singers this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I really am looking forward to him too. It's like you kind of forget about people you don't get to see a lot of.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to him because I like, as someone, who's in their 40s, I like seeing people. I don't know if he's quite there yet, but I know he's the oldest contestant on the show. There is a seasoning.
Yes, come on.
Of that voice. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that too.
Absolutely.
All right, so who do we have next?
So for Team Kelly, we have Allie, we have Kate, we have Holly, we have Marcos, we have Rachel, and our playoff pass winner was D Smooth, and our stolen artist was Kala. Yeah.
I mean, what do you say?
What do you say?
What
deep
do you say? I'm actually mad that I don't get to hear D Smooth until the point.
I know, right? I know. Yeah.
D Smooth was smooth as butter. Let me tell you.
Yes.
But again, the team is so deep. I don't want to see any of them go home.
I know.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that was a huge pickup when she picked up Kala. Oh my word. Huge.
I think she had her eye on Kala for a steal for sure. Yes.
They blocked Kala. Like she was for Kala.
Yes. Yeah.
Team.
Mm-hmm.
So
for sure.
Yeah. That's who you looking forward to hearing in the battles? Excuse me, the knockouts from Team Kelly.
I'm really looking forward to hearing more from Marcos because, again, I want to hear more from the people that I have not heard from. I want to hear more from everybody. Don't get me wrong. But we only got a little snippet of Marcos when he
had the nerve to sing one of your songs, Stephanie.
And he was singing my jam. He was singing some Selena in Los Dinos.
Yes.
So with Sheer Element, I should say. And I really wish they would have shown that battle because they all sounded amazing. But again, we only got to see a little taste of Marcos. And it's interesting because Marcos was featured in a preview clip of the knockouts with Miss Reba McEntire. And she really seemed to be speaking a lot of life into him, which makes me believe that his performance is going to be incredible. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Marcos, especially in the knockouts.
Come on, Reeves.
Come on,
mega coach.
Mega mentor.
Mega mentor.
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about her. There's just an energy that Reba brings.
Ooh, yes.
That is just so infectious.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like you said, it's like that star power just rolls on you.
Yes.
All right, great. So who do we have next?
So next, let's look at Team Niall. So Team Niall has Gina, Jerome, Kate, Michael B, Ross. The playoff pass winner was Riley Tate, and the stolen artist is EJ. Look at that team.
Very eclectic.
Yeah, it is.
Very genre fluid.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Very genre fluid. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's got like a gumbo of people.
Like you can stop at Michael B. and Riley Tate alone.
Right.
Like,
right. But then you throw in a little bit of Ross. Come on. Like all of them. You got some EJ.
Ross is on Niall's team?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my Sasha Fierce dude, isn't it?
Yes, it is with the sunglasses. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, Niall. We see you.
Right.
First time coach. We see you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Stephanie. That's gonna be some singing.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Wow. Okay. And then take us to Chance, because I can't picture any of Chance's singers in my head, but when you start naming them, I'm gonna be like, go.
Absolutely. So for Team Chance, we have Jamar, we have Magnus, we have Nariella, we have Ray, we have Sorella, and then our playoff pass winner was Manessa, and our stolen artist was Tiana.
That's right, he did.
Yeah, he stole Tiana from the Tiana and Kate Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And honestly, I really want to hear Tiana again because, like I said before, I didn't think that was the best song choice, Niall.
I agree.
For that battle between
Kate and
Tiana.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a singy song. And,
right.
Stephanie and I love our singy songs.
Come on. This is the voice.
This is the voice.
Yeah.
So Tiana is someone I need to hear more of.
For sure.
It's a very, very unique, interesting quality to her voice.
Absolutely.
And it stands out.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. You know what? This season's like, it can go any way. It can go to any team. It can go any direction. It really can, Stephanie. That's crazy.
We're definitely at the point where we are going to start getting our feelings hurt when people have to leave. Like, for real. Because looking at this list of artists, it's like, ooh, like I don't want to see anybody go, but it's a competition.
Stephanie, I know last year they did something that was a little controversial, right? Mm-hmm. With the knockout rounds.
Right.
I didn't particularly like it. It was a little bit more cutthroat.
Right.
In the fact that it was a 3-way knockout.
Yeah.
So they kind of chopped it down quickly.
Right.
So are they doing that this year or this?
No, they're not. No, it's only going to be 2 contestants against each other, not 3.
And if I remember correctly, with the knockout rounds, they truly get to individually sing songs while the other person is on stage. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Which I think is awesome because to me, this is where you really see the support that we heard about when we talked to previous contestants on the show.
Right.
That we really are truly a family. We become a family because we're isolated.
Yeah.
And we do nothing but support one another.
Right.
This is not about, sorry to see you go. No.
Right.
No, we heard this from every contestant we spoke to.
Truly.
About how just they would be in the back and it wasn't even like they would hear the actual live feed of the singer during their portion of the taping.
Right.
And they would be cheering.
Exactly.
Cheering, not intimidated, not like, oh gosh, how am I going to follow that? No.
Absolutely.
No, so every contestant, I know a lot of you watched this. Keep that in mind for future rounds.
Mm-hmm.
There is enough room for all of you. Know
Come
that.
on.
Know
Come
that
on.
there is enough room for every one of you that have made it thus far. And some people who haven't made it thus far
That's
are
right.
uber talented.
Yes.
So go out and leave it all on the stage. Every
Absolutely.
round that you make it. And then when you leave, it should be a celebration. Like we talked to a lot of people on the previous season that said, were they sad? Sure. But
Yeah.
it was also celebrated.
Right.
That, wow, I can't believe I made it on this show and
Right.
And I made it this far. And
Yeah.
it was just joy. And a lot of them talked about how they became close to the crew.
Yes.
The unsung heroes of the show who you
Absolutely.
never see. The hair,
Right.
the makeup, the grip, the sound, the band, the
Yes.
BGVs, which, Stephanie.
Come on, they're coming.
Thing,
They're coming.
and Stephanie and I, that's some of our favorites.
Oh, yes.
Like, what is this band going to do? Or what are those background vocals going to give us?
Yes. Yes.
It's fire.
Absolutely.
And don't
Absolutely.
let them really like a song.
Oh,
Because
listen for the drummer, do the double hit. Yes.
And you know what I'm also looking forward to, Stephanie? And I'm looking forward to some of them playing instruments.
Oh, yes.
And I'm just not talking about strumming block chords on the guitar. I'm talking about some of them can really play.
Come on, Jamar.
Like after Jamar.
Come on, EJ.
After EJ. After seeing Michael B. and Riley Tate both sit down at the piano and be able to play that song.
Give us a moment. Give us a moment.
Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm really looking forward to you all possibly. I want someone to incorporate a piano.
Come on.
I need someone to do a round where it's minimal band. I love you, band, but I want someone to do a round of minimal band and just them piano spotlight. Like, there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see a few of our artists doing that. Absolutely.
There's really nothing like it. Yeah.
Right.
What are you looking forward to most in future rounds, Stephanie?
I'm really looking forward to the lives because that's where we really get really get to see what these guys can do.
Right.
Like without, and I don't believe that a lot of what we're seeing now is so overly produced as far as the vocal and the band and all of that, even though it is recorded. But there's just such an interesting element to the live because really anything can happen.
Yeah.
We saw last season with Kate Calvat, how her ear went out during her inner ears, went out during her performance. And she just had to continue on. And she still had an incredible vocal. So there's really something to when we get to lives, we get the whole set production. We get full BGVs, we get band, we get staging, we get outfit, we get all of these incredible elements of a real performance.
Right.
So I really love that.
I also love that how important song choice comes into the future rounds.
Huge.
As the contestant pool gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the contestant gets, as the contest gets tighter and tighter.
Right.
Like song choice a lot of times trumps the performance.
Yeah.
Because you could give a killer performance, but if the voting audience is not connected with your song choice, that could be detrimental, as we've seen in previous seasons.
Absolutely.
So
Truly.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really exciting. But also a little heartbreaking.
Absolutely.
Because Stephanie and I, at this point, there's no one that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, okay, well.
No, we're kind of emotionally invested in a lot of these artists.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really sad to see them go, not just because we've either made a connection with them through Instagram or YouTube or whatever, but just on its face, everybody that's left is so uber talented.
Yeah.
and we just want to hear more talent. We don't want to hear less, but that's just how the competition goes.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Come on, NBC, don't do any cutoffs.
Nope, don't do it. Come on.
We need to hear all the battles.
Yes.
At least online.
Yes.
We understand that. I'm sure there will be, because there have been in previous seasons, but we want to see people.
Yes, absolutely.
So. All right, Stephanie. Well, I know there's not too much more to go over with. Is it going to be on tonight as well?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Last night was a 2-hour episode. Real quick, I wanted to talk about something that was really cool about last night's episode, and that was the coaches performed. They performed Frankie Valli's Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. And when I thought about them doing an actual performance, I'm like, okay, Chance the Rapper. Is he just going to be doing like a rap in the middle of it? Right. Chance the Rapper sang. And Chance the Rapper gave us vocal. Chance the Rapper gave us run. He gave us differentiation of melody. And he hung. Like, I was really, really impressed.
Don't sleep on Chance. Chance
I was so impressed because you have Blake Shelton, who always gives us a solid vocal.
Oh, yeah.
You have Kelly V. Clarkson, who that's all I need to say.
Right.
You have Niall, who has a really strong, wonderful voice.
Right. Chance
hung. More than hung. I was like, good for you, bro. Good for you. So that was cool to see them sit down and do a performance. And it was cool because they were interacting with each other during the performance, much like what they did during the blinds and much like what their interactions have been with each other throughout the show. So it was cool to see kind of that personal element to the performance. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, next week, here we go. TKO.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to make a graphic about this because it can get a little bit tricky, is I'm going to run down what the rest of the show is going to look like. Because I had to do some research. Because after they talked about this playoff pass situation, I knew that the rest of the show would not look like last season or the season prior. So I was really curious about what the rest was going to look like. So as James said, next week, we're going to start the knockout rounds. And as we explained, it's going to be basically a duel, if you will. Each two artists from the same team are going to perform their own separate songs, and the coaches are going to be able to select which one artist they want to send through. This is also when we're going to see our mega mentor again, Miss Reba McEntire, who, fun fact that they gave us last night, was she was Blake's first battle advisor on his first season of The Voice. So really cool to bring her back in that way. So again, the coaches pick one winner, and the artist that is not selected can be stolen. So each coach does have a steal for the knockout rounds. As we go into the playoffs, there will only be 20 artists remaining, which is 5 artists per team. Mm-hmm. Each coach can only advance 2 artists out of their 5. So it's probably going to look like, it might look like a lives scenario. I don't think that it's going to be, I don't know. I'm anticipating that. Well, I don't know what it's going to look like, whether it's going to be set up kind of like the knockouts, where they have like all of Blake's contestants perform and then he chooses at the end, or whether it's going to be a mixed bag. I don't know. So that'll be interesting to see. But again, only 2 artists per team will advance into the semifinal lives, and there will be no steals. So anybody that is eliminated in the playoffs, they go home. There is no opportunity for them to be stolen. Once we get into the lives semifinals, it will be the top 8 contestants, and they will perform live. Now, they will perform live in real time, and that means we will be voting for them that night and get the results that night.
Wow.
So after the 8th performer, voting will open up and you need to vote for who you want to go through. And we will find out at the end of that show who will be going into the lives, which will be the next week. They
do that for West Coast people.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. It'll also be interesting to see whether going through the Voice app or the voice.com are the only mediums and only venues where people can vote.
Right.
I'm guessing, but I don't know. Maybe they'll open up ways through Instagram or Facebook or whatever for people to vote. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then I'm assuming that the last night or the last week of shows, there will be a finale performance show on Monday and maybe a finale results show, probably send off to Blake on the second night on Tuesday.
Nice.
So it will be, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting, especially to see who our top 8 artists will be and to see who our top 5 finalists will be by the end.
Yeah.
And to see how this voting thing goes as well.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Teddy Pendergrass told me you better let it go. It looks like another Love TKO.
Oh.
So next week, it's all about the knockouts.
It is. It is. I'm so excited to hear.
Oh, imagine somebody saying Teddy Pendergrass on this show.
Oh, maybe Magnus.
Maybe Jamar.
Oh, he could play the guitar with it. He could play his guitar.
Maybe Michael B. Don't sleep on him.
Don't sleep. I know that's right. You got that right. We should have learned from that from last week. Absolutely. Right. He can sing anything.
Just ahead, you all. Teddy Pendergrass is really done on these shows.
Ooh.
And you got to have a voice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you better. You better. Absolutely.
That's Stephanie's Philly connection.
Come on. I know that's right.
All right. So, Stephanie, what do you have to tell the crew?
So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. And as you know, we are on YouTube. Search for the Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more.
All right. So until we see you all next week at the Knockouts, everyone enjoy your beautiful spring week and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.